Hi, Rachel. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Thursday noon. Well, 12:02, I guess.
We're so close.
So close.
So close.
Yes, and we are talking about blue zones and the nine. What's it called? The blue zone nine or
The Power Nine.
power nine? I knew I had something off. The power
Power.
nine.
Power
Power.
Nine.
Careful, careful. Anyway, yes, power nine. And we introduced this a little bit last week. Rachel, can you kind of summarize what we talked about, and then we'll jump right in?
Yeah. We introduced this last week, so go check out the archived video of last week's where we introduced
Mhm.
the Blue Zones Power Nine. So the Blue Zones were kind of this pet project of Dan Buettner. He discovered 5 areas around the world where people tend to live the longest and have the greatest number of people living over 100 years of age and living well, not stuck to a ventilator at 100 years old, but living really well. So they set out on exploration to discover what are the commonalities of all of
Mhm.
these. They call them blue zones. They're all over the globe, so they're not like in one area, or they're not all. There's one in the U.S. And then there's all over the place. So what are the commonalities, and what could we learn from them? What ancient
Mm.
wisdom could we learn from something they're doing right? And there were some outlying behaviors of some of these areas that
Mhm.
weren't common, but then there was a glaring commonality, and he broke them down into 9 categories, and he calls them the Power Nine. So we want to explore this over the next 9 weeks and uncover the mystery of the Power Nine.
The mystery that will turn out, I think, it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. Yes, but even when some of them are going to sound very obvious, and this will not be
Mhm.
news to you,
Mhm.
they are that he does add some uh, definition and
Mhm.
clarity on how the people engage in
Right.
this area, which I
Yes.
think is
So,
very important.
yes, I am glad that you said that, Rachel, because a lot of us like to hack.
Oh,
We
right.
like to hack. We want to take a shortcut, any easy, not maybe not easy, but time, you
Hmm.
know. And I think what we're going to find, Rachel, is that doesn't work here.
Yeah.
That doesn't
Yeah.
work with longevity. That's not the vibe.
No, it doesn't work with
Mhm.
health, with longevity. It actually doesn't work with our life and time management.
Mhm.
I actually just started a new book called 4,000 Hours, and it's blowing my mind.
Ooh,
And I'm really
I'm
trying
writing
to
this down.
engage.
4,000 hours. Okay.
Yes, 4,000 Hours. I don't know the author because I literally just started it by a recommendation from some random blog I was on. And I've always loved her book recommendations. Oh, actually, Gretchen Rubin. It's from Gretchen
Oh,
Rubin's.
yeah.
She recommended this
Great.
book.
Yes, I like her
Um,
stuff. Yeah,
and
good.
I'm really trying to embrace the slowing, as I'm calling it, embracing not only this phase of my life, but realizing I cannot wrangle time, and I don't want to. I don't want to rush through everything in my life. And so, anyway, he he
Right.
he brought up this concept of hacking and how we think we've got all these time hacks and
Yeah.
multitasking, and it's all something that we've gotten better at hacks and
Mhm.
shoving more and more into our day, and nobody has more time. Everybody feels like they're still racing against the clock,
Mhm.
waiting till tomorrow, then I'll be able to do the
Mhm.
things that I
Mhm.
love.
Mhm.
So anyway, I love that you brought up hack. Maybe this
Right.
will be another
Woo.
concept we'll have to
Yeah.
address.
So much to talk about.
I
Yes.
know.
No kidding. No kidding. Okay. All right. The first of the Power Nine, Rachel,
Yeah.
please start us off.
First of the Power Nine is um I just moved my is move naturally.
Move naturally.
I had them
Yes.
all in my head all of a sudden. I was like, wait, which one are we starting on?
Yeah.
Move naturally. And
Mhm.
I'm going to go back to. So, first of all, let's just point out the fact that he says not just move, but move naturally.
Naturally.
So, what do
Right.
you think? I feel like that word is chosen very
Yes,
specifically.
specifically, yes. His intention with that word is that he's telling us to be active without having to think about it.
Mhm,
It's kind of automatic. It's just the way we do things. We move when we do things.
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have that little blurb that he says longevity all stars don't run
Yeah.
marathons? That can you
Yeah.
read
Let me
that?
read that here.
Okay.
So move naturally. He says the world's longest lived people don't pump iron, they
Mm,
don't run marathons, and they don't join gyms.
mm,
Instead, they live in environments, and environment is the key. And we can break that down a little bit more. They live in environments that constantly nudge them into moving without thinking about it. They
mm,
grow gardens. They
mm.
don't have mechanical conveniences for house and yard work.
Oh. Hmm. S-
So
yeah, which is exactly the point of the hacking
the
thing.
hack.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I like he expanded on that a little bit more here too. They don't transform themselves into weekend warriors.
Right.
Hmm.
Right. Trying to
Mhm,
get through the week so that they can
mhm.
do the weekend and then
Yeah.
become like these power movers.
Mhm.
The movement that we need to benefit from, that we do benefit from, is everyday movement.
Yeah.
Frequently, weekend warriors end up getting injured, and
Right.
and you can't make up for Monday through Friday with some hours on the weekend. It doesn't work that
That's so
way.
true. That's so
Yeah.
true. So he points out that in Sardinia, the men, they've worked most of their lives as shepherds. Yeah, and I'm imagining shepherds walk. They
A
walk
lot
up
of walking.
they walk up a hill, and then they walk down the hill, and then they go to the next hill. Yeah. So yeah, so walking throughout the day. So this is movement, and it's movement throughout the day.
Mhm.
So throughout the week, throughout the life. So they're not, and it doesn't seem like they're hurrying through the movement.
Right, right.
Mhm.
And, I imagine a herd, shepherd also sometimes running little sprints
Mhm.
to catch
Right.
somebody
Yeah.
who ran
Right.
away
Yeah.
or to chase away a fox. I
Right.
imagine a shepherd also having to squat and pick up
Right. Yes.
and carry. So
Yeah.
he's using full body movement.
Right. Yeah.
I'm
So
imagining
compound
he's
movement. Yeah.
sleeping out with the herd, and so he's having to lay down. So he gets down on the ground and sleeping on the
Mhm.
ground, and then he has to
Mhm.
get himself back up. Right?
Mhm.
He doesn't have the
Mhm.
convenience of a bed that's just like you fall over on it. He,
Yes, so true. So you pointed out several key things there. So yes, he's getting this walking, which is kind of, may have a slower cadence, but then he's got a sprint. He's got a like a high intensity interval thrown in
yeah,
there. He's
yeah,
got compound movements. He's lifting heavy things like whatever, 50, 60, 70-pound sheep, maybe more. I don't know how much sheep weigh, a lot. Little lammies, they don't weigh 100 pounds, do
no,
they? No.
no.
Yeah, so you've seen shepherds carry lambs
Really?
around. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So sometimes they're walking and carrying heavy weight. So,
Right?
like rucking, or what's that called?
Yeah, rook.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ruck. Okay. Yeah, so many different kinds of movement and consistency of movement.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, he brings out the fact about Okinawans, they're gardening for hours during their day, you know, so and that they don't have a lot of furniture in their houses. So when they eat, they're kind of in repose, reclined, but
Mhm.
they're on the floor, and then they're getting up, and they're on the floor and then getting up, and then on the floor and getting up. And actually, I think in several um, these little tests that you can do for your health, to see how healthy.
Yes.
That is one of the tests in here,
Right.
about how hard is it for you to get off the floor.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it seems to be an indicator of not just longevity, but of health. Like there's a
Mhm.
link between whether or not you can get off the ground. And it's not that getting off the ground makes you healthier. It's that what it takes to
Mhm.
continue to be able to get on the ground and get up is
Mhm.
an overall well-being and
Mhm.
a flexibility, a mobility, strength in the thighs.
Mhm.
Quad strength, I just read, is a marker and indicator to longevity.
Right.
So
Yes.
yeah,
And
it's kind
balance.
of
I think,
fascinating.
yeah, it is. And it also takes balance to be able to get up off the floor.
Right,
Right.
right. Which then, of course, if you have good balance, is going to protect you from falls,
Right.
protect you from a hip fall that takes you down.
Mhm.
Right. Being able to continue to do the things long into the end of your years with a
Mhm.
mobility, like an ability to do
Mhm.
the, you know,
Mhm.
these basic normal. But as we all know, if you don't use it, you lose it. And I know many people who, when they're starting on their health journey, they cannot get to the floor, and they certainly could
Mhm.
not get up. And they
Mhm.
actually live with a little bit of a fear. If I
Mhm.
fall or if I get down on the ground to pick something up, I might not get up, and I might be
Mhm.
stuck there until
Mhm.
someone comes home to pick me up.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So that is so important to recognize too. One of the things that I love to help people do
Mhm.
is, um, feel confident in their ability to get up off the floor. I mean, sometimes that's the first thing.
Yeah.
And so I steer people to our yoga,
Hmm.
the yoga part of our, we call it our wellness ways, you
Hmm.
know. And so in the yoga part, the our instructor Melissa, she's very, very well experienced in helping people in this way. She's worked with so many people with, osteoarthritis in their knees, in their hips, in their shoulders. They've had pain with chronic pain, and so these specific, and she knows specific functional movements to teach them, to help them feel very confident to get up off the floor so that they can allay those fears. Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
I think that this move naturally, the other thing I think about natural is what's natural for me.
Hmm.
So I think of that word naturally, like he mentions setting up your environment because, I'm not a shepherd, and I'm not going to become a shepherd anytime soon.
You're not a shepherd.
I'm not a shepherd. I
You
might shepherd
kind
my
of,
children.
yes, you're kind of.
I have shepherd-like tendencies, but no, I'm not out on the fields. And I have a garden, but I'm not going to be gardening all day, and it's not
Mm,
likely going to take up a huge portion of my time. I can certainly count that as a way that I set up my environment. But I think
right.
there's two things here we want to really then empower the listener with is number one is setting up your environment. Number
Mm,
two is how do you move naturally. So an
mhm.
environment is anything around you,
Yeah.
right? It's your culture at work, your environment at work, it's your
Mm,
environment around your home, it's what kind of a city do you live in, do you have sidewalks, and utilizing that and setting it up to where you get the most bang for your buck,
mm.
meaning you move as much as possible. So what are some ideas that come to your mind when you think about setting
Right.
up your
Well,
environment?
yes, good. So, for example, yesterday, my grass needs cutting, and we do have a riding lawnmower, and we have a push lawnmower. It's an
Mhm.
acre of lawn. So I am choosing to use the push lawnmower, as a way of intentionally moving more in my environment. And will I get it done a whole heck of a lot faster with riding lawnmower? Yes, but that's not the goal. The goal
Right.
isn't get it done. The goal is, mow the grass
Yeah.
and get the most movement that I can.
Hmm.
So.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And you're going to be tapping into not only physical steps, but also upper body strength,
Mhm.
pushing the mower, and
Mhm.
being able
Mhm.
to, and core strength. That's
Yeah,
also a core strength.
and I use a grass catcher, so I have to heft, it's probably 20 pounds if I,
Yeah.
get it full of grass, and then so I gotta take it off, lift it, empty it, put it back on. So, yeah, that's,
Mhm.
upper body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, you're talking about this. I'm thinking, man, that's just like a total body workout. But one of the words you used earlier was consistently. And I
Mm.
can't mow the lawn one day a week and
Mhm.
call that
Right.
natural movement. I need to
Mm.
find ways to get that in every day, something
Mhm.
like that every
Mhm.
single day, or slowly
Mhm.
build these things. You can build a lot of habits. Like, okay, that might become a new habit where I only mow the lawn with a push mower.
Mhm.
I know lots of people will park, when they're shopping, they park far away. And I know on any day that I'm running errands, it's easy for me to get 10,000 steps because
Mm.
I intentionally park far away, but then you're walking in the store and you're, kind of going from store to store. So, where do you put your car? Can you walk to the place that you're going? If it's only a mile, could you walk there instead of drive
Mm.
there?
Yeah.
Um, one of the hacks I have in my house, because I do work, at a desk. So most of my job is at a desk, but I find ways to stand up. So right now I'm just standing. I'm not walking on my treadmill, but I also have a walking treadmill. But I also do little things like if I need to bring some things upstairs, I only bring one at a time.
Ooh.
So rather than,
Yeah.
doing it in
Overload.
one
Yeah.
trip, I do one at a time. So I have to go up and down the stairs
Okay.
multiple times,
Great.
So
Yeah.
that's a
Very good.
way.
Yeah.
Um,
Awesome. So, and maybe you go up a little slowly and maybe you come zip right back down and then up a little
right.
slowly, zip right back down. Yeah.
Right. I might go down the stairs backwards to test,
Okay.
holding on, of course,
Okay.
but
Wow.
I'm using that backward
Different
motion.
muscle group. Yes, that's
Mhm.
right. That's right. Different muscle groups there. Very good. Yeah,
Yeah.
very good. Yeah. And, I used to get irritated like if I forgot something in a different part of the house or whatever, or if I have to look for my husband somewhere.
Yeah.
And so now I give myself 5 minutes to walk around and find him before I pick up the phone and call. Where
Love
are
it.
you?
I love it. Yeah. Rather than hollering up the staircase or something, go walk and find them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Right. Right. What are some other creative outside of the box things we could, I hope that people are listening. If they're coming up with ideas, put it
Yeah.
in the chat so that other people can hear it when this is posted online. What are some other outside of the box ways to design your environment to
Mm.
get more movement naturally during the day?
Mhm. Right. Well, I suppose you could wash your dishes rather than just use the dishwasher. Or as you're putting the dishwasher away, maybe you're doing a couple of lunges and a few push-ups, on
Yeah.
the countertop, something like
Mhm.
that. Yeah. Uh-huh.
While you're waiting for your coffee to brew in the morning, I do balance and just gentle, basic wake up yoga
Mhm.
movements. So while my
Mhm.
coffee pot is brewing, that's like a meanwhile habit. Anything in the kitchen, while my water's boiling, okay, can I do some push-ups against the wall or against the
Mhm.
counter? Some, air squats. Yeah, those are
Mhm.
some good
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah. Let's see here. I guess just not, in making things inefficient. That's one of the things that
Yes.
he brings up here in his little notations. Let's see here. I had it marked, but just make things less efficient.
Mhm.
Um,
Yes. H-
yeah,
Hand
jump in
wash your
on.
car instead of
Yeah,
going to the dry,
exactly.
right?
Exactly. Yeah, here I have it somewhere. I have it somewhere. Oh, come on. Come on. It's got to be somewhere. Okay, of course I did everything. Mimic mountain living. He says, walk to the neighbor's house rather than drive.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And don't hire out your yard work. Do it yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Um, yes, and he talks about engineering mindless movements into your lives. Owning a bicycle that works.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
I love that. Yeah.
Cleaning your own
Um,
house, that comes to mind too. Don't hire it
yes,
out.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Inconvenience yourself. He says,
Mhm.
by making life a little tougher, you can easily add more activity to your days. Little things like getting up to change the channel. Oh, instead of using the remote. But is there
Yes.
such? I don't even know if my television works that way anymore. But anyway, getting up to change the channel or taking the stairs. Get rid of as many of the following as possible: TV remote control, garage door opener. Ooh, that'd be a hard one for me, especially in the rain, Rachel. I am using that sucker. Okay. Uh, Electric can opener. Yes, because
Mm.
then, you're using grip strength and yeah. Electric blender, snow blower, power lawnmower. Okay, I didn't have, what's that old kind, that push one that just is the blade?
Yeah.
I didn't have that. I had a little power. I had a little power on my lawnmower.
On your
Anyway,
lawnmower.
yeah, be ready to use any of these as much as possible. Bicycle, walking shoes, rake, broom, snow shovel.
Mhm.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
ideas. Those are good ideas. Yeah.
So I think really the takeaway I'm hearing here, and this is I like to have little mantras that are a takeaway that help guide me, because I won't necessarily always remember all these ideas, but what I will remember is inconvenience myself.
Mm.
And so when I go to do any kind of a task, I want to think and ask myself, how could I inconvenience myself here? How could I be less efficient and therefore have to use my body more? And
Mhm.
every time I hire something out or buy like an electric can opener rather than a hand one, I'm thinking in my head, I'm basically trading my ability. I'm trading my mobility and my ultimate ability to continue to do this task. I'm giving it away because
Mm.
over time, I will no longer have, if I don't force my hands to use hand
Yeah.
spreaders, right?
Yeah.
I'll lose the
Mm.
ability to do that.
Mhm.
And certainly, there are people of all different ages listening and all different limitations and
Sure.
injuries and arthritis. So, of
Yeah.
course, we want to be mindful, and so there's a balance there. What
Mhm.
could I push myself without injuring
Right.
myself
Right.
that would give me that more movement? In what areas can I do this?
Right. And I think another thing to think about is how can you make it more fun? You know, how can in
Yes.
your mind can you make this more fun rather than a chore? Yeah.
Yeah,
How can you
yeah.
think of it? Yeah.
I think about, I'm picturing you mowing your lawn, and I'm thinking,
Mhm.
oh, she's going to have much more time in the sun and the fresh air.
Mhm.
She's going to have much more time to observe the beauty of spring right
Mhm.
now. She's going to be getting the pheromones and all of the healthy chemicals from the trees and the plants. She's going to be forest bathing. Um, she's going to be feeling the endorphins of using her body.
Mhm.
When we use our body, we feel better. It's a direct link to our mental health. And
Mhm.
so you're going to feel better
Yeah.
with your body when you're done. And,
Mhm.
and then there's that sense of accomplishment,
Right.
a hard, a job well done. You might
Mhm.
sleep a little better because you've used
Mm.
your body in that way that you don't do every day.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, so good. And I like, if I even perspire a little bit, I like, yeah, that was a little bit of a workout. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it. And I'm out there with my dogs and they're kind of making sure I'm doing it okay.
Right.
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 And sometimes I'll listen to a podcast or something like that. And yeah.
So now you've made it a little bit of an event, right? There's
Mhm.
and it's time well spent. You're touching on multiple areas of
Mhm.
your overall life
Mhm.
experience. This
Yeah.
isn't just a chore to get through.
Mhm. Yes.
And I think before we get to the end of our time, the second area was move naturally. And when I think
Mm.
about naturally, I think about when I do need to get intentional movement, intentional exercise. Let's
Yeah.
say I'm not mowing the lawn today and
Mhm.
I need to probably plan something. I'm not a shepherd and I'm not a gardener, so I do need to sometimes plan exercise. Find something that feels more natural and enjoyable for you.
Right. Right.
What feels naturally, what are you naturally drawn to?
Mhm.
Oftentimes you can look back to your childhood and go, okay, what did I love to do as a kid?
Mhm.
Did you dance? Did you ride your bike? Did you love to play soccer? What could you
Mhm.
try to do? Did you love
Mhm.
tennis? Well, maybe you could try pickleball, things
Mm.
like that.
Yeah. So good. And just to add to that,
Mhm.
is to make it maybe perhaps make it social, because
Mm,
most of the things that we were doing as a kid that
yeah.
we enjoyed, we did it with our friends, we did it with other
Yes.
people, we added that next level of connection,
Yeah.
which didn't, so exercise isn't a chore, it's not something I have to do to stay healthy. I'm
Yeah.
actually looking forward to walking with my friend or running with my husband, or whatever it is.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it can be so good. It can
It
be
can be
so good.
so great. Yeah, that's a great
Mhm.
point. All right,
Mhm.
so we've got this some new inspiration on
Mhm.
moving naturally, what it means like to manipulate your environment in a way that
Mhm.
makes you less efficient and
Yeah,
a little bit inconvenienced, but
yeah,
therefore moving more in just your normal day. And then
yeah,
this concept of when you do build in natural movement that's intentional, what are you doing that you love and enjoy that feels natural for you and therefore
yes,
not like an exercise?
yes. So good.
Okay.
Oh, thank you so much for this. I think this is awesome, Rachel. So good.
This is great. This is a great.
Um,
I can't wait to get it through all
mhm.
all the nine. There's so much good stuff coming.
Yes, so much good for me. Okay, so stay
Yeah.
tuned. But in the meantime, Rachel, tell us what's for dinner.
To this tonight for dinner is we have our small group, and so it's potluck again, and our theme is wild. So some people
Ooh.
are bringing wild game. It's whatever you think of as wild. I'm doing a wild rice salad
Oh,
with
cool.
lentils and things. So I'm really excited about that. And I learned when I was buying my wild rice that it's not actually a rice; it's a seed, or
Mm.
it's not a
Yeah.
rice. Wild rice
It's
isn't
like a
rice.
yeah, like a grass. It's a seed for a grass. Is that right?
It's something I was
Mm.
so was it a seed or was it a
Mm.
something? Anyway,
Mm.
it's not rice.
I'm gonna look that up now. So that's made me curious. I'm gonna check that out.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, and I'm at the end of my basic salad. So I got to go back to the
Mm,
fridge and see what vegetables I have there and start from the beginning and just create that another not basic salad, base salad. I
base
have to
salad.
make that. You know what lately I've been doing is just squeezing the lemon on the
Ooh.
vegetables. Yes, instead of making a dressing separately.
Mhm.
I am telling you, Rachel, that is taking this to a whole nother level because I get the pow of the
Mhm.
lemon kind of with each bite.
Right.
And so good.
Yum.
It's
So
so
you're making your base salad and then you're spritzing it with lemon and keeping it in the
yes, that's
fridge with the
mhm,
lemon on it.
with the lemon on it.
Ooh, that
So
sounds
good.
good.
And yes, and I haven't figured out my protein, so it's something, some protein.
It's something. It will be there.
Something will
I
be there.
fully believe and trust it will be
Be there.
there.
Will be there for me.
Yeah.
All right, this has been great conversation. All right, well, enjoy
Yes.
the rest of your day and get some natural movement in there.
Get some natural movement. Check out the links in the bottom of this in the show notes. There's lots of links to all the resources so you can check out
Oh,
more.
thanks so much for doing that, Rachel. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. Okay.
Thanks everybody.
Bye bye.
Bye.